Hi, this is John Linneball from John Linneball Tutoring, and this is how to study for the SAT and ACT, what to do the day before and of the test. And here's my contact information if you'd like to contact me. What we're covering here: what should I do the day before the test? What do I need to bring with me? How should I plan for the test? And what should I know for the SAT and ACT essay questions, or sections, I should say. If you like this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and click on the little bell in the top right corner for notifications. So what to know for the math section, ACT or SAT, this is in a video that I just released a few minutes ago, well, probably an hour or so ago. Anyway, know the instructions, don't read them during the test, that wastes time. The only difference between the instructions for the two SAT math sections is that one lets you use a calculator, the other doesn't, and they give you this box here of formulas. So you should know those formulas, and you don't want to have to look them up during the test. If you do, fine, use the box if you have to. But no, there is no such box on the ACT, so memorize as much as you can. That would be a really good thing to do the night before the test, is just make sure you know all the stuff that's on here and that you know what the instructions to the math and even the reading and the writing are, although the reading and writing are fairly easy. And also you could look at the essay just so you know that, so you don't have to look at the essay instructions very closely on the day of the test either. The instructions are always going to be the same. Don't waste valuable test time on them. More math tips. If you've already watched the video that I released before this one, you don't have to look at this, but basically just know the quadratic formula and know that if you see radicals in the solution choices, know that you won't be able to factor the quadratic equation that they have there, so you'll have to use the quadratic formula. And before you use the quadratic formula, make sure you've gotten into ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0 form, not something like ax squared plus bx equals c. So if they had like 4x squared plus 2x and then is equal to 4, you'd have to subtract 4 from each side, so you'd get 4x squared plus 2x minus 4 is equal to 0. Then you could use the quadratic formula. You want to know these polynomial expansions. You should know the difference of squares. So x plus y times x minus y is x squared minus y squared. That's always on the SAT and likely on the ACT. Know these expansions here too. A plus b squared becomes a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. A minus b squared is a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. And notice that when you have the imaginary numbers involved, x plus yi times x minus yi is x squared plus y squared. Make sure you know all those things. And also make sure you know circles, know the generic coordinate formula for a circle, x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared, where the center is at h. Should be comma, not period k, but anyway, h comma k, and where r is the radius. You need to know this. It won't be given to you. You'll have to know how to complete the square to solve that kind of equation. That you could also study the night before. And know the coordinate distance formula, which I haven't given you here, but should be easy enough. The distance between 2 points on the Cartesian coordinate plane, the xy plane. It's in your review book. You can Google it, etc., and it's just based on the Pythagorean theorem. So, speaking of studying, stop studying at or before your normal bedtime. You're not going to learn anything new when you're cram studying. Cram studying is notoriously ineffective, one, because your brain actually can only learn so much at once. There's proteins, etc., that your brain makes when you're learning, and there's a limit to how fast it can make the protein, how much of it at any given time. So at some point, you're just not going to learn anymore. Being tired the next day because you were trying to cram study will hurt your story, of course, because you'll be tired and inattentive and upset and not feeling good. At this point, after reviewing the math formulas, you're ready for bed, or at least to stop studying. I'm nervous, John. What should I do? Well, I'm glad you asked. Check to make sure that you have a printed out copy of your admission ticket. Make sure that you have an approved calculator. You can Google it. You can check the SAT or ACT website for a list of approved calculators. But basically anything you've used for your math and science classes should be fine. Just don't bring anything that plugs into the wall or makes a paper receipt. So no adding machines. You can't bring in your laptop. You can't use your cell phone, because your cell phone is something you can use to communicate with people outside the room or even just other people in the room. And make sure you have extra batteries and have programmed in the formulas that you might need, hints such as the circle formula or quadratic formula. So if you have a graphing calculator that you can program formulas into, it's a good idea. It's not against the rules. What else do I need? several sharpened number 2 or HB pencils. Number 2 pencils are the most common kind of pencil that you would use in school, but if you have a drafting pencil that's labeled HB, that's fine too. A small plastic pencil sharpener, they'll probably let you bring that in no problem, because what are you going to do with it other than sharpen a pencil? An eraser, same thing. I mean, probably going to let you bring it in, since most likely all you're going to be able to do with it is erase things. You can bring a snack, think a protein bar, not something like lasagna or leftover Chinese food or something, and a bottle of water. They might make you put it up, up in front of the classroom or out in the hallway or something, but you'll be able to eat it during your break. Extra batteries for your calculator, as I've already said. A printed out map of directions to your test site if it's not someplace you know well. Like if it's not the high school that you attend or your high school, then make sure you know how to get there. Map it out on Google Maps or whatever map program you'd like to use. Make sure that you know how to get there on transit. Make sure you have bus fare or your transit card if you need to get from your home to the test site on transit. Huh? Transit fare? Dude, I own a car. That's great, but cars can break down at the worst times. It's called the perversity of inanimate objects, also known as Finagle's Law. So here we have a quote. The goal of all inanimate objects is to resist man and ultimately defeat him. Russell Baker. So it does seem that way. I've seen that in offices posted on the wall right over the photocopier. This machine is equipped with a critical circuit. If it detects that you are in a hurry, it will cease functioning. So that's just the way it seems, is that things always break down when you can least afford to have them break down. So that's why you have to make sure you have a backup plan using Uber, Lyft, bus, train, walking, etc. if the car won't work. Accidents happen, but don't count on a break. That's mostly because standardized tests are designed to be, standard. That means everyone has to be treated identically. They can't make a break for little Timmy because he had to walk the dog or something like that, or the baby was crying, because then everybody who's late is going to come up with some excuse once they know what excuses work. I've been told of a bar exam, that's the exam you have to take to be a lawyer, a candidate failing because he or she saved the life of another candidate who had a heart attack. And even though it's apocryphal, I believe it. Probably did happen, because they'll say, well, we don't know how to factor for that, so we're just going to have to say, gee, that's really commendable, but that's too bad. You'll have a great story to tell when you apply for jobs after you take the next bar exam. Same thing's going to happen with the SAT. Is pretty much medical emergency. They might let you cancel the score. If you're late, they probably won't even let you in. And, anyway, it means the test is supposed to start and end on time. While I've heard of delays, apparently, for students who are late, some of my students complained about it. God, we were delayed forever, and among other unprofessional things that these proctors did. Just don't count on getting such a break if you are late. Because, again, they have to treat everybody the same way, even if that means treating everyone equally badly. If you work for the military or the government or a large corporation, get used to it. Well, heck, you've been in school for about 11 or 12 years now. I know you know that schools generally are going to treat everybody the same way because they can't play favorites. You probably learned that your first day of kindergarten or the first day you tried to bring in a snack. I can't let you eat that unless you brought enough for everybody, because otherwise if I let you bring in food, I have to let everyone do it, and I'm not going to do that. So, there you go. So basically what I'm telling you is any excuse you have is likely to fall on deaf ears, because if they're good exam proctors, they're going to be trained to just say, you know what, that's really too bad. I'm sure you can bring that up to the SAT people or the ACT people, but I can't let you into this test. Like these guys, we'll see here.
Sorry I'm late. It's just like this new schedule's totally confusing. Hey, you're ripping my car.
Yeah. I think you know where the front office is.
Honest, I ran out of gas. I had a flat tire. I didn't have enough money for cab fare. My tux didn't come back from the cleaners. An old friend came in from out of town. Someone stole my car. There was an earthquake. A terrible flood. Locust. It wasn't my fault, I swear to God!
So get there early and relax. Just get some breakfast at a restaurant near the test site, meditate, exercise, look at something fun, people watch, something like that. Chat with the other kids who showed up early, the early birds. Don't try to study. One, you shouldn't even have your books or study guides with you. They're going to make you put it up at the front of the room, and what if they get ruined or ripped or something like that? Even using your phone, you won't learn anything at the last minute. And three, you'll stress yourself out, so why even do that? Make sure you have nothing with you. Once it's time to go in, just turn your phone off, not on silent, but off. Stick it in your pocket. Better yet, don't bring it. You can leave it at home, leave it in your car, whatever, because, as I've mentioned before, what if they make you leave it with somebody or up in the front of the room or out in the hallway and it's gone when you leave? Or somebody breaks it and they just say, I don't know. How do I know it was working when you gave it to me? Or I never touched it. I don't know what happened to your phone. What phone? Things like that can happen. So I would hate to lose a $1,000 iPhone X or something like that because I had to give it to some exam proctor and they dropped it on the floor and then didn't take responsibility for it. So, did you find this video useful? Well, if you did, please like it and subscribe to this channel. Neither action costs you anything. You'll always be alerted about my new and always free videos. Why do I care? Well, YouTube does not give me any ad revenue unless I have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours. That's 240,000 minutes of view time in a year. So if you saw an ad on my channel, maybe even during this video, please know that I didn't get anything from it. I got nothing. While many people are watching these, I don't have 4,000 hours of watch time. I don't have anywhere near 1,000 subscribers, although at this time I have 315, so woohoo, and thanks to everybody who subscribed to my channel. For the same reasons, you're not only welcome, but encouraged to share links to this video, put it in playlists, etc. And I'm always happy to read and respond to constructive criticism or suggestions for new videos. I reserve the right to delete comments from and block those who specialize in destructive criticism, trolls, or things that are off topic, spammers, disturbed people, whatever. So thanks for watching, and good luck on the SAT or the ACT.